Jungle Cruise stars Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson and is yet again another Disney movie that was plagued by COVID last year and is finally out now in 2021. Based on Disneyland's ride, Jungle Cruise follows a group of travelers as they journey through a dangerous river searching for a mythical tree. So we had 3 new movies come out this past weekend: The Green Knight, Stillwater, and Jungle Cruise. 3 movies I planned on seeing originally Friday and Saturday of last week, but unfortunately I just had a really busy weekend, so I couldn't get around to it until this week. Though the first movie I wanted to check out of the 3 was Jungle Cruise, so that's exactly what I did. Because like so many other movies that were supposed to come out in 2020, I enjoyed the trailer of Jungle Cruise. It was a movie I was looking forward to. I was upset when it was delayed to 2021, but thankfully it is finally here, and it's pretty much exactly what I expected it to be: a fun, adventurous movie from Disney. It reminds me an awful lot of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, mostly the last 2 that came out. So yeah, this is not a great movie. I don't think the last 2 Pirates are by any means the best of the franchise, but it's still an enjoyable movie just like the last 2. And there are various reasons for why it reminds me a lot of those movies, and it's not just because they're on a boat, but because the film is fast-paced, especially in the first 30 minutes. The style, it looks a lot like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. The music, the humor is very similar to those films. The film has Disney written all over it. Even if you didn't know that this movie was made by Disney, just watch the first 10 minutes because I'm sure 9 out of 10 people will be able to tell right away that this movie is a Disney film. As for the 2 leads, Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson, I think they're great. They have very good chemistry and their banter is very funny. I just could not get enough of it, seeing Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt arguing with each other over and over again. Never once got old on the screen. For the most part, a lot of Jungle Cruise's humor lands, and I can't say that about many other Disney live-action movies. Speaking of humor, Jesse Plemons plays Jungle Cruise's villain. I had no idea that Jesse Plemons was in this movie before watching it, and now I'm just so happy. I've never seen Jesse Plemons play such an over-the-top character. He's played a villain before in many roles, but I've never seen him play such a Disney-fied character. He literally comes straight out of a cartoon storybook or even the Disneyland ride. This is not something we get to see too often, so just the fact that we get Jesse Plemons as an over-the-top villain is something I never once asked for, but now that we have it, makes me really happy. I also want to point out that Jungle Cruise sometimes goes down unexpected directions. I can't really touch more on this point unless I go into spoilers, so I will slightly skim the surface with this one. An example of an unexpected direction that Jungle Cruise goes in is that there are natives, and at first glance, they are evil. But to my surprise, and something that's really refreshing, is that Jungle Cruise doesn't do what you think it's going to do with the natives. Like I said, at first they are evil, but then the movie decides to do something different that you would not expect from a movie like this. And it happens multiple times in the film where it actually subverts your expectations from what you're initially expecting to happen. So all that stuff in Jungle Cruise I liked. The movie served its purpose. It did what it had to do to entertain me. But it's not perfect. It's very similar to those last 2 Pirates of the Caribbean movies, which are by no means perfect films, but still ones that I enjoy, unlike some other people out there. One thing I wanted to see out of Jungle Cruise was a lot of craziness and some very dangerous tasks for our characters to go through. And while there are some dangerous things that our characters have to deal with along this river, it doesn't go nearly as far with the premise as I was hoping it would. We see hazards like a treacherous waterfall, but that's about as far as the movie goes in terms of challenging our characters. We do get Jesse Plemons' character who chases them every now and then. They have a couple of scenes together where they are in a battle. But beyond that, the movie doesn't do as much as it could have with the dangerous premise that comes along with the Jungle Cruise theme. There is some exposition in the first 10 minutes that you don't really care about, and it's not necessary. For some reason, they tell the same story twice too, at the beginning and somewhere near the end, but at the end it has more details. I don't know why they couldn't have just summed it all all up in one exposition dump instead. And just like how I said the movie is exactly what I thought it was going to be, the finale is the perfect example of this. Because you just know it's going to lead up to a big battle between the protagonist and the antagonist, and there's going to be a lot of CGI, and it's going to look like a Disney finale with a ton of cliches. That's the finale of Jungle Cruise, which disappointed me considering the first 2/3 felt a little more special. But either way, you know what? I enjoyed this movie. I think Jungle Cruise is a fun time. It's a movie for everyone in the family to watch. Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, they are great. The action is really entertaining. The movie is fast-paced. And Jesse Plemons, while he's a cartoon character, is a ton of fun to watch on the screen. And this movie made me want to ride Jungle Cruise at Disneyland for the first time. So I am giving Jungle Cruise a 72%. Alright, for those of you who also happen to see Jungle Cruise, let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are of it, and if you thought it was worth the wait after being delayed for a year. Next up, I will be reviewing Stillwater and The Green Knight, two movies I'm really looking forward to, but because of my review this weekend for The Suicide Squad, a movie I want to review a little more in depth, I'll probably make those reviews a little bit shorter just because I want to dedicate more time to The Suicide Squad, and since I'll have 4 reviews in the span of this week alone, it just makes more sense time-wise. As always, guys, if you are new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.